What the heck is a Flatpak? Most new users to Linux start their journey using Ubuntu. If this is how you started, there's no doubt you had the experience when you were looking for an application, you found a tutorial online, and that tutorial directed you to install something called a snap package using a snap command. Now, if you're not familiar with Flatpaks, you may not already be familiar with snap packages and may be wondering what the heck those are. Well, both snap packages and Flatpaks are both easy methods for installing applications on a Linux system regardless of the distribution or flavor of Linux. Now, there is quite a bit of controversy around snaps in the Linux community, and I do plan on covering them in future videos, but I wanted to make a video focusing on Flatpaks first. So this is B from Tay Talk Tech, and today I'm going to be explaining what the heck are Flatpaks, so stick around. I have a favor to ask. If you like this type of video and want to see more content like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you like it. Let me know what you liked, didn't like, or if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts down in the comment section below. And lastly, make sure to stick around all the way to the end of this video. Now, let's do this thing. But actually, one more thing before I get into the content today. I also wanted to share with you that if you like the content that I'm providing, feel free to click the three dots down below and leave a super thanks. This will help support the channel and expand the content I can cover in the future. So now let's really get into it. So according to the Flatpak documentation, a Flatpak is a system for building and distributing and running sandbox desktop applications on a Linux system. So let me go ahead and bring up a little graphic by shrinking my face down. So bear with me here for just a second. All right, here we go. We've got a little graphic here kind of showing each of these different Flatpak applications. Now, if you're not familiar with a sandbox, it's basically in a controlled environment where code can be executed so that it does not impact the rest of the system. This can be done just for, security purposes, as well as just making sure that things aren't just destroyed on the actual host system. Now, Flatpaks will use portals to interact with, host environments from the sandbox, like if it needs access to something, or, such as like the, when you click on the desktop icon or something like that. Now, when we are talking about Flatpaks, we're actually referring to Flatpak applications, which are applications installed through the Flatpak command line or the graphical user interface or GUI utility. Now, Flatpaks will provide a platform which is an integrated environment providing basic utilities needed for a application to work. So basically what's going to happen is that when you download this application, it's going to have everything that it needs in order to be able to provide you with that application. And that's what we can see here. See, this is the application. It's got its data, it's got its code, it's got its libraries and everything. And then we can see that sitting right here on top of the actual operating system. And this essentially illustrates what a sandbox is because these applications are running completely separate. Now, when your mobile device is running an application, this is typically going to be done in its own sandbox. That's going to be for security purposes because if that code, if malicious code is executed in just a single app, that's going to make it much less likely that it's going to be able to impact the actual underlying operating system. Now, the same thing is true. It is just maybe there's an error that happens, with that application. That error in that application is not going to take down the actual operating system. So it actually provides better stability because you don't have to worry about the operating system being taken down unnecessarily because there's some kind of issue with one of your applications. And that's going to happen, right? Especially as you add more applications to your system. So all this stuff being packaged together this platform is actually going to be referred to officially as a runtime. Now, Flatpaks can also provide a base app, which is an additional set of libraries and frameworks for applications needing more than just the basic runtime. So these are things that may be needed in addition to the basic runtimes that are provided with an app. And keep in mind, a lot of this stuff about the runtimes and platforms and all that stuff, that is more geared towards the folks that are going to actually be developing these applications. So, that's why we're using that language, because a lot of this information that I gathered for this video was actually directly from the Flatpak documentation. And just by rule, accessing the documentation for a service, for an application, for an operating system, that's going to be the best way to be able to go ahead and understand what it is, how it works, and get a lot of your questions answered. Now, let's actually go ahead and start talking about the pros of utilizing Flatpaks over, Git applications, because when we're talking about the pros of a Flatpak, now when we're talking about Flatpaks, we're going to be comparing them to the traditional application method, which is going to be through Git repositories. Git repositories, when you do, sudo apt install whatever, each individual distribution has, these repositories that are set up that's going to house these applications. And keep in mind that each distribution handles the update of these applications differently. So you're going to reach out to it, then you're going to go ahead and have it installed, which is not significantly different from how, a Flatpak is going to be installed, because instead of just reaching out to, locally, it's going to reach out to a repository where the Flatpaks are actually housed. Now, the most common repository, because these are also referred to as repositories where they house all the Flatpak applications, is called FlatHub. FlatHub is the most popular, but some distributions such as Fedora and Elementary OS have their own repositories for their own FlatHubs, and those are going to be unique to those particular distributions. But I can almost guarantee you that they're probably very, very similar to the underlying technology that underlines Flatpaks. It might just be tweaked a little bit just to specifically be enhanced for those distributions. Now, going back to the pros. Now, one of the big pros, and we've already mentioned, is that these can be installed on any flavor of Linux that is available out there. This doesn't matter. And when I say flavor, I'm talking about the Debian base, the Red Hat base, the OpenSUSE base, and things like that. So it really doesn't matter what flavor of Linux you're using or what distribution. You can put it on any distribution, any flavor of Linux. Now, one of the cool things that I recently learned is that you can actually also install them on Chrome OS, because Chrome OS is using its own version of the Linux kernel. So, that's a pretty cool thing. And Chrome, Chrome OS is, kind of got its start from Android. And, with Android, again, they have their own applications. They've kind of taken the philosophy of the Flatpaks and made use of them in that ecosystem. Now, Flatpaks do solve the problem of different branches using different package types. So now you don't have to worry about, hey, is it RPM or is it a .deb? Because, like for a newbie, they may just be like, what? When they can just easily go out to FlatHub and then just install it from there. And they'll be able to actually centrally manage all of those applications with either the graphical user interface application or with the command line application. And keep in mind that, like, usually, typically for most distributions, your graphical user interface is going to be like a software store. Like, I believe in KDE versions, it's called Discover, I think. I forget what it's called in GNOME and all the other ones. I usually just do everything through the command line just because I'm so used to doing that. But yeah. And then one of the other pros of utilizing Flatpaks is they're not going to require elevated privileges to install. So any user can install those, especially if you have multiple users using the same system. Now, that can be a bad thing if you're sharing it with your kids and they just install any and everything. Then you may need to adjust things appropriately and things like that. So just keep that in mind. Now, issues with the application do not impact the OS itself. So again, going back to that sandbox mentality is going to help keep things secure and orderly and working in the proper manner that you want it to. It also provides, again, increased security through the same sandbox mentality. So honestly, when it comes to Flatpaks, it's just really, really a lot of pros to these things. Especially because there's so much division within the Linux community. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that there's a lot of people that have their own preferences. They like things a certain way, but this is one thing that can kind of help unite Linux users is going to be Flatpaks and things like that. So now some of the cons, there's two of them that I want to mention, is applications cannot elevate privileges such such as SUID, cannot be run in the sandbox. So, you know, if we're going to need something that can be elevated privileges, that's not going to be something that the application can do itself. Now, one of the other cons is that when you first start installing applications, they're going to take up more space than Git application, but space efficiency will improve over time as libraries and other shared files that are used by multiple applications will be deduplicated. So they will all just kind of share the same pool of resources, because it's like, hey, I've already got it over here. Why am I going to go ahead and install it again? Because then that's just duplication. You know, and these days, storage is so cheap that it really doesn't matter as much as it would have in the past, you know, when you were paying hundreds of dollars for, you know, a megabyte of memory. So in summary, Flatpaks are universal applications that will run on any Linux distribution, including Chrome OS. Now, I do plan on doing a video covering interacting with Flatpaks, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. I wanted to utilize this video as just an introduction to what Flatpaks are, benefits, and all those types of things. And that's why I also gave you this graphic, so you can kind of start picturing what those Flatpaks look like. Now, make sure you do check out this other video from my channel. Remember, mistakes make you better, so keep on making them. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have the greatest of days.